And Phil Mattingly, we do appreciate that. I want to bring in now Republican Congresswoman Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee. She served as a vice chair for the Trump transition team. So, Congresswoman, you were a yes on this repeal bill. 20 of your Republican colleagues said no, though. Some of them had concerns about how many Americans with pre-existing conditions will be covered by this plan. We're showing as well, we have a screen that shows you some of the things that qualify as a pre-existing condition, that some discretion, quite a bit of discretion up to the insurance companies on that. To be clear on this, is there part of this bill that you have reservations about? If so, which part?
I think that there is an excellent piece out today that addresses the pre-existing component. It was done by Kathy McMorris Rogers, who personalizes this issue with her, and I would encourage your viewers to look it up and give that one a quick
Republican
read.
Congresswoman in House leadership, we should mention, yes, for people not familiar.
That's exactly right. That's right, and I encourage them to read that. You also have the MacArthur and Upton amendments that address this. And Brianna, I think it's important when you look at the history of how pre-existing conditions became an issue, you go back to 2006, and it was a Republican bill that first brought forward those accountabilities that were necessary to put on the insurance industry to make certain that individuals with pre-existing conditions be covered. What we're trying to do is to refine that process and to make certain that everyone has access to affordable health care.
You talk about these amendments. Some of them would, if you had, for instance, a state that decided to use waivers so that there were folks who had pre-existing conditions, they could be moved into high-risk pools. The idea being that there would be money put aside to backstop those costs. But everywhere I'm looking at the assessments of this, right now the Congressional Budget Office has not weighed in on this, all of the assessments say it's not enough money in that case to backstop and to be able to pay what it would take to cover effectively those people with pre-existing conditions.
I probably have more faith in our states, our state legislators, and also our healthcare delivery systems. There are so many people who come to us every single day, and someone like me who is on health subcommittee, and they're saying, look, we have ways to innovate. We have ways to deliver more efficiently. We have innovations in technology to deliver more effectively, the utilization of healthcare informatics to make certain that those with chronic issues are gathering their information and that is being held and processed appropriately. So, Brianna, I think our states are looking forward to the opportunity. I had a phone call yesterday from a state legislator who said, you know, we've waited a long time to see Medicaid block granted back to the states, and we're looking forward to innovating.
Can you say to people who are worried, who have pre-existing conditions, can you say to them that they do not need to worry about their premiums rising? Can you pledge that that will not happen?
I think that individuals are going to be very pleased with the options that are there. You can look at the Gary Palmer.
But what about to people? What about individuals specifically with pre-existing conditions?
And you look at the Palmer-Swikert language that does the invisible risk pool that has worked so well in the state of Maine, and putting that into play. The goal is to make certain that these individuals have access, better access, more continuation of access. And one of the problems with the
premiums rise, Congresswoman?
My hope would be that their premiums would not rise.
But can you assure them? I hear that's your hope. Can you assure them that their premiums
Brianna,
will not rise as a result of this legislation?
Look at the promises that were made by then-President Obama.
Well, no, this is something you voted on. I mean,
this is not.
I understand what you're saying, and look, we've talked all about the pledges. You can keep your doctor, and we know what happened,
and
right?
that premiums would go down. And look at what has happened even this year.
But what about your plan? But now it's your plan. Now there's a plan that you have voted on.
In my state of Tennessee, yes, and I'm answering your
question.
So
can you pledge that their premiums will not rise as a result of this?
This year, and you have a third of the counties in the state that only
But
have one
Congresswoman, I'm talking
provider.
about people with
Now,
pre-existing
those
conditions.
individuals-
Congresswoman,
those individuals' insurance is going through
Blackburn,
the
I'm
roof.
talking about people with
And
pre-existing
yes,
conditions.
Those individuals with
Are you pledging
pre-existing
that their premiums
conditions-
will not rise
those
as a result of this
individuals with
legislation?
pre-existing conditions have no coverage, so their premiums are going through the roof.
Will their premiums rise?
What we anticipate is that individuals are going to see their premiums go down or stabilize, and they are going to be able to have access to affordable health care. That is what they want.
But Congresswoman, can I ask you,
Consistency and
Congresswoman,
certainty.
please respect that I'm asking you a question, because I'm not feeling like I'm getting an answer to it.
That's because you don't want to hear what we have to say about
I do.
this.
This is the big issue.
I have told you it is a big issue.
Excuse me, Congresswoman.
And pre-existing conditions
Can you
is an
say
incredibly
that
important
their
issue.
premiums will not increase as a result of this legislation? Because that's the knock right now on this.
The knock on this right now is something that those who do not want to see it succeed are going to continue to make.
Will people who have pre-existing conditions, can you assure them that their premiums will not rise as a result of this legislation?
You're not going to give it a chance. The goal and what we are striving for and what our commitment is to have everyone have access to affordable health care. They don't have that right now. In the ACA marketplace, the premiums have gone through the roof. There are individuals, look at what is happening in the state of Iowa.
So will their premiums not, their premiums will not go through the roof for people with pre-existing conditions?
The goal is to make certain that they do not. What we're doing right now is not working.
Can you pledge that it won't happen as a result of the legislation?
What we're doing right now is not working. We're losing coverage and the marketplace is imploding.
All right.
We have to take steps to stabilize it. Our goal is to make certain that everyone, pre-existing conditions or not, have access to affordable health care. That's what we're working toward. The
All right,
status
Congresswoman
quo is
Marsha
not
Blackburn,
acceptable.
thank you so much. Hopefully, we'll hope to have you back and get an answer to that question. We do appreciate you being with us.
I hope
coming
you
up,
heard it.
we are awaiting the White House press briefing as the president takes a victory lap on health care. Is he ready for a bigger fight ahead in the Senate? We'll have our panel with us next, weighing in.